A college education is seen by today's society as one of the few ways of achieving success. Only about 13% of Native Americans and Alaskan Natives have a bachelor's degree. However, education was not always a choice for Native American students.
What we think of as boarding schools are associated with what we know the government became very involved in terms of the boarding school project, which is associated with assimilating Native people. We have places that are like Carlisle, who from the moment that students entered into boarding school, they were stripped of their traditional clothing. Their hair was cut, which of course is a very religious aspect for Indigenous peoples. They were no longer allowed to speak their language, and if they did try to speak their language, they were beaten. Oftentimes, corporal punishment could include solitary confinement. It could have included public humiliation. It was a wide range of issues that were associated with boarding school. And the federal government was realizing that it would be less expensive to assimilate Native people than it would be to try and kill them.
Boarding school in general is just really devastating to really understand like what our grandparents went through.
On my mom's side, my grandpa, he refused boarding school and ran away multiple times. He eventually ran away when he was 14, and from there on just made his own life.
But why do Native American students today want a Western education when its original goal was to destroy their very existence?
So part of what I expect to do with my degree is go on to get a PhD in immunology, and I want to study autoimmune diseases. The researchers aren't trying to help us at all. They're trying to just look for scientific novelty or some kind of way to benefit themselves or their institute without really directly translating that research to positive health outcomes in my community. So I want to be a part of changing that and really gaining control of the autonomy of our research.
But that's my biggest thing, is helping the older generation of veterans who, like I said, may not really speak English or may not know how to use the internet. It's very real.
There are a number of challenges students face when wanting to return home. To return home is often the hardest challenge to overcome.
I think one of the biggest challenges when coming back to help my community is that there's a lot of spaces where students are returning to, and they don't have a position for us. Now that's not exactly the end of the road. That just means that's another challenge. That's the next challenge, is we have to create the space and capacity to really start employing our skills to build our community.
For some, they have achieved that goal. Leon Wheeler graduated from Fort Lewis College with degrees in psychology and education. Today, he teaches at Northwest High School in Shiprock, New Mexico on the Navajo Nation.
I teach cultural arts and crafts. I have also taught American history, world history, U.S. government, financial literacy, psychology, and Navajo language, Southwest enrichment, and Native American studies. Before I got here, Native American history was not taught here. They were also taught from a westernized American history book. What do I aim to teach my students would be to become independent thinkers and become successful. Having a holistic education is is the key to success. So in order to get a holistic education, you still have to get a college degree. A college degree is just a stepping stone to achieving success, to achieving whatever it is that you set out in life to achieve.
We need to be educated in order to kind of counter colonization and to really help our people, because it's really the only way, I feel like, is if you have an education. Then I feel like when we have these degrees, we also can have a voice and, at higher levels to help our people.
I do think it's more beneficial for someone who's from the community to help the community. A lot of the times I feel whenever outsiders come in, they feel like we can't solve our issues on our own, and that really doesn't help us so, because it doesn't really empower us.
We as Native peoples are going to be that voice for our elders, ourselves, and the babies, our children. So I just think that's why it's really important to me that we get our education, we get our degrees, so we can help our people.
There are challenges to every story. Native students today are taking control of the education that was once used to destroy them, to rise up. Not for themselves, but for their communities, tribe, and the next generation. For a brighter future.